Stan, no time for sleeping now, man. I need you to wake up for me, Peter. Help me here, please. Peter, come on, wake up, it's Stan. Help me, please.
They were dancing and singing and moving to the groove, and just when it hit me, somebody turned around and shouted, "Play that funky music, white boy. Hey, play that funky music, right." Come on, they shouted, "Play that funky music, white boy. Lay down the boogie and play that funky music till you shine."
Guys, I'm joined by the one and only Tim Campbell. How are you, mate?
The one and only, yes. Although actually there is one in Canada. There is one who won The Apprentice in the UK, and there's a porn star, but we won't go into that. Yeah.
Oh. Well, there you go. I've learned something new already, and we're only 20 seconds in.
One of many, yeah.
How are you, mate?
Look, for the record, can I say that Jimmy Barnes is not my dad, and I didn't marry Lisa Campbell, because that often happens. So let's clear the air, we're done.
Good on you, mate. How are you? Anyway, you going all right?
Look, pretty good considering we're all at home. We've all become homebodies and slight hermits, but look, pretty good considering. I mean, look, there's a lot worse off people than myself. So, just ready to kill Anthony Clee, but beyond that, we're good. We're fine.
Yeah, mate. No, look, it's a strange time, mate, for everybody at the moment. It's just something you'd never think would have ever happened. Would have ever happened. It's just something that I think it's just throwing everyone out of whack. I think, like, for me, I'm usually a homebody anyway. I don't like to go out and do too much, and all of a sudden when I can't, I'm busting to get out. Yeah,
exactly right. And you look, like me, you would have had all these kind of live gigs, and what we do is with people, and suddenly that just literally just suddenly stopped. It's interesting. It's been really really funny time, but I think as we've gone along, people have found some positives, whether it's recalibrating your life and what's important. But now we're still at home, that's for sure.
That's right, mate. I think like a big thing is a lot of businesses, a lot of small places and stuff like that are struggling at the moment. And like, I've spoken to a lot of musicians, and some of them have lost up to 50, 100 gigs. So absolutely. You sit there and you start looking at it, and you just start going, and unfortunately, smaller businesses that won't be able to reopen and that are suffering at the moment, and you just start looking at it, and it's heartbreaking for a lot of people.
Absolutely, and you're right. It's those. There's the entertainment industry, but there's so many other industries also that there are like musicians, like small business owners. We are our own little small business, and when money doesn't come in, you don't have the big corporations or the overseas owners to kind of a little bit of cash just to get you through the ugly period. So. Yeah, I hope most of us can come out as good as possible at the other end, whenever that is. Whenever that is.
Yeah, that's right, mate. There's always light at the end of the tunnel anyway, Tim, isn't there, for everyone?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, mate, good on you. What are you looking forward to the most, mate, when this is all, past? I mean, everything's starting to lift slowly now, but what are you missing the most? Getting back out on the TV land and singing around and doing a few stuff and...
Yeah, look, I mean, these days I'm mainly doing the live thing, so I probably like you. I'm looking forward to getting back with the musicians and getting on stage and getting people on the dance floor and doing the usual things that we do, and socially, maybe just having a drink with someone else but your partner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, look, here in Victoria, we haven't even relaxed those laws as yet, as far as allowing people into your home. But it'll happen slowly but surely. But that's when the diary will happen, and you'll find out who your best friends are, because it'll be like, okay, so you're going to be the first guest at my house, or am I the first guest at yours, or are you number 5 on the list? So I think we're going to find out who our best friends are very shortly as they to get together.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. I've been loving what you and Anthony have been doing. It's great. I've been watching it, mate, up on Facebook, and I've seen a couple of the morning shows speaking about it the other morning, and I had to go on and have a quick look, and it's great, mate. People are loving it. It's clever.
It's funny, and that literally came from, I think we were driving home one day and said, we'll get a Kath and Kim script out, and we'll just throw it together, and it just turned into this thing where we're in our robes. We're calling it isolation scene studies, and we've gone between Kath and Kim, and now we've done Real Housewives of Melbourne and Married at First Sight.
I love it, mate.
Yeah, and it's kind of just to set the premise. It's had a bigger reaction than what we even thought. For, like I say, just something to kind of kill a bit of time and entertain some people. But it's been a great source for us just to keep everyone else happy while they've been at home. And, and like this online is where we get to find each other at the moment. So it's fun. It's killed a lot of time with us. I'm not going to lie, it takes more than one take. So you go through a couple of glasses of champagne. So the third scene's normally a bit, how's your father? But
yeah, it's good. It's great though, mate. It's great, and people are loving it. And, you guys look like you're having a ball doing it too, and it's great. So, people are really connecting with it.
Yeah, something
Great,
different from
mate.
normally singing, or I think even people said, Anthony, I didn't know you could act, and you're a funny bastard. So it's good. He's like that all the time. Yeah. So right.
Yeah, great, mate. You guys have been married. 2014? You got married, yeah? You and Anthony?
Yes, so that's so almost 6 years. We've been together for about 12 years actually. But yeah, we got married in New Zealand 2014, and yeah, married life's great, especially in isolation.
Yeah, so it's going to test everything, mate. That's for sure. I think I've got a couple of mates that got a couple of new girlfriends. They've been together for about 12 months, 6 to 12 months, and I don't know whether they're going to be together when this is all finished.
They say, when you start courting and you're together and you start going out and then you do the whole moving together, that's always a big step in a relationship. But living together 24/7, if you can survive that, you can survive anything.
That's exactly right, mate. Timmy, you've had a huge career, mate. You've done so much, Like I was just having a read up a minute ago, and I knew a lot about you before you come on for a chat, and just having a flick through, mate. Some of the shows like Home and Away, you've done 500 plus episodes on Home and Away. As Dan, was it? As Dan?
Yeah, Dan Baker was. He was a school kind of teacher and counsellor, and I married. Dan married Leah on the show, who's Ada Nicodemo, who's still on the show. I was on there for 3.5 years. I think Ada's been on there for about 612 years now, I think, as it is. But we were married on the show and had a little. No, hang on. Oh God, hang on. Did we have a kid? No, I think I had a kid to someone else. I don't know.
There'll be people at home telling you you've had one or you haven't.
Yeah, well, for a quietly sleepy town, it's the most dangerous town in the world. There's so many illegitimate babies. There's everyone sleeping with everyone else. It's it's a town to stay away from, Summer Bay.
Yeah. It's great, mate. It's awesome. Like Dancing with the Stars, you come third on that.
Yeah, that was when I was at Channel 7 at the time. So and it was great because I was doing Home and Away at the time, so it was really difficult. People. I guess it's like with any performing that the art is to make it look as easy as possible, but it's a bloody hard show to do. I know why it's called a sport, and because you have to have incredible fitness plus the technicalities that you have to learn with your arms and all this kind of thing. But it was great. It was a really good experience, and we had to, like, my partner used to come to the set on Home and Away, and every time I had a couple of hours break, we'd go aside somewhere and learn some dance, and then had to travel to Melbourne on a Monday night. Sometimes because of the schedule, I've missed the rehearsals, and my first time doing it with her was on the live show. So it was live TV at its best. But I loved it. It was such a great experience.
Yeah. I don't think, mate, I'd flat out even getting out and going for a 1 kilometre walk, let alone get on that show and do that. But if I ever got asked, I think I'd have a bloody big life change in front of me.
No, funnily enough, I was watching a few videos. I actually posted a couple of late and reminiscing, and it was 2007. There is no way I can move like I did back then. I would not survive. I certainly don't have the cardio from 2007, that's for sure.
Yeah. Mate, have you got any advice for people at home, like during isolation? You guys are obviously doing your, you do a lot of the Kath and Kim stuff and all the social media, chats and stuff. What else do you guys get up to at home? You got any tips for people at home while they're sitting there doing nothing? Is there anything that you can advise them to try? Are you playing any games or do anything like that? Or
not huge. Don't. I think I've become a gold member of Dan Murphy's, so don't do that.
I was about to say that.
Oh God, what is really? I mean, the thing is, we're kind of dealing with gigs that have been postponed and onto next year. I was meant to do my own concert in Melbourne in May, and that's been postponed to next year. I was meant to release an album next month, but that's had to be postponed. So it's kind of, I guess, working through that work thing and keeping that alive. But beyond that, you tend to do a lot of nothing, and then suddenly it's 5 o'clock. So it's just kind of, I mean, look, the online stuff's been great to keep us occupied as well as, keeping everyone else engaged and entertained, because that's just in our blood. But, you tend to tick less boxes, but somehow the day just goes. So, I'm the worst advisor of isolation, that's for sure. But,
mate, so am I. I'm bloody hopeless too.
So I was going to say, I think what like we're saying is that there is light at the end of the tunnel. I think it's keeping those kind of things positive and just looking at, look, there's the odd parts of the day, and some days I'm a bit and so is Anthony. But we look online and say there's a lot of people worse off than us. There's our emergency service workers and our teachers and everybody who are right at the front line doing much better work than we're doing, and the most important part of society at the moment. So it's kind of, perspective is a great thing, that's for sure, at this time too. So when we think about those kind of people and what the little things we can offer, but just thinking, look, we're not doing too bad at the end of the day. There's, we're lucky that we still got a roof over our heads, that we have saved a bit of money for a rainy day, and we're fine with this where some others aren't. So look, as far as keeping yourself occupied, one thing is keeping your mental state, keeping you happy, and finding things, whether it's online or whether it's, games is great, or something else you can do with your family. Maybe separate from your family. Just there's different rooms in your house, use them. But look, for us, I think perspective's been a big thing to say. You know what? It's a shit of a time, but we're doing okay, and there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, no, mate, good on you. That's great, mate. At the end of every chat that I do, I just have usually just ask a couple of questions. They're called curious questions, and they're just for people at home. And the first question I'd like to ask you is: have you been able to maintain any type of motivation during the isolation period? And if so, how have you done it?
Again, we're not going to say Dan Murphy's. Look, I think it's just from a work point of view, things that have moved to next year and all these different events and gigs that I've done. So 2021 looks optimistic and looks great as far as work goes. I think it's just keeping your eye on that light at the end of the tunnel, and also, I mean, I'm on the apps and the websites every day about how the numbers are going, and the fact that Australia is doing an incredible job. All around with kind of fighting it and people doing the right thing. It's kind of a good, it's an optimistic, and it's a great thing to kind of look forward to that as well, as opposed to, and it's, you've got to feel for overseas, right, doing as well as us, but it just gives you some kind of motivation to say, we are fighting this, we are heading towards the end of that. But look, what can I say at home? Like we said before, just enjoy your quiet time, find different podcasts or interviews or things like that, and there's content out there to keep yourself entertained, and really love the people you're with, even if you don't some days. You know what I mean?
Mate, I think mental health is a big thing too, Tim, at the moment for a lot of people. I've been through different mental health. I've struggled with mental health. Sorry, I should say, and I think. Being isolated from people, your friends, not being able to do certain things that you're so used to doing can take its toll as well. And that's one big thing that I want people to know as well. And when I chat to people like yourself and get your opinion on things like this, but I think positivity is the biggest thing out of everything, to keep positive and always remember that it's going to be okay in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, for sure. Positivity, and also perspective, I think. Just to kind of, positive. And one positive thing is also allow yourself to, if you're going to have a bad day, or allow yourself, don't put pressure on yourself to have to kind of, suppress things, because it's okay to have your kind of downtime as long as there's yourself, and to say that at the end of the day, we are going to get there. We are going to make it. And whether it's contacting some friends and family that I've connected with people I haven't connected with for a while. Actually, it's been a great kind of time to put the brakes on and actually, whether it's online, whether it's having a Skype chat or what do you call the other thing? Zoom. I'm so old. It's that kind of connection that's really worked for me too. So it is that kind of, it's a positivity and perspective, because sometimes people can be kind of overly positive and it's just not real, and so they actually suppress kind of some raw emotion. Just allow yourself to have that. I think allow yourself, if you're having if you can have a bit of a cry one day, you're feeling down, that's okay. Like, you are human. We're all human. We've all got our faults, as much as we pretend we don't, you know what I mean? Yeah, but look, it's knowing that there are yourself and there's people around you who are with you on this, and we're all in the same boat, so to speak. And that the perspective is that we are heading in the right direction. So allow the good times, the bad times, and we will get there.
That's great, mate. Good on you. Mate, who would be one of your biggest inspirations, Tim?
Like you said, when you looked at the CV, I've been we all are, we're Australians especially, we have to be hard workers in this industry. So I see people who have just kind of gone through their careers and have just worked and chipped and that kind of thing as well. And that's even outside of entertainment, to be honest. There's so many that I kind of people who I know, similar to myself, can probably list about 35,000 jobs you've had in the past because you've just always wanted to work and push it and keep going. And I mean, I come from a family of accountants and bankers, so I'm certainly the black sheep, and still I don't have a real job, but I'll get there one day. But but I don't know, like. I mean, from entertainment, you look at if you can have a quarter of a career of someone like a Hugh Jackman or these kind of people who have crossed different mediums as well. Like that's pretty inspiring too. But I just love a good hard worker, and then sometimes they're not even celebrities or people that we know of as such. But yeah. I just love seeing people who really. Like I can tell you the amount of places and things that I've done and stayed in and lived in, all that kind of thing. Mattresses on the floor and all that kind of stuff. And it's just that. It's that kind of work ethic that we have as Aussies as well. And I'm a fellow Bogan and Westie like you, so I grew up in Campbelltown, so I'll see your Dubbo and raise you a Campbelltown and say that it's a pretty good work ethic to have.
Bloody oath, mate. Mate, and one question that everyone always wants me to ask is who would be one of the most interesting celebrities you've ever met, and what made them interesting?
Hang on, let me just drop a name.
They love it. They love this question, mate.
I did.
We get so many different answers, Tim. We get so many, such a big variety.
And I'm trying to think too, because I'm bad with the celebrity thing. Like I'm not one of the people who gets a photo with someone, or like I kind of like, because I go, you've been working in the industry and you've worked it really well, but like when I ended up working with Bert when I first met Bert Newton, and he's an incredible storyteller, and he's the most, even now at 105, no, I'm kidding, but he's one of the sharpest people and quick wit, and I love his humour. So when I've met him a few times, that was amazing. And then I actually had a chance to work with him. So he's certainly one that I was kind of a bit awe-inspired by for many reasons. I did at an Aria's after party, just on a weird coincidence, actually had a drink with Pink once, would you believe, just the two of us. She didn't even have people. I know, it was when she came and sang, oh, God, probably 10 years or so ago now, and was at the after party, and she was just off having not a cigarette, she was having something else. But I was happening just near her, and I just was chatting, and she was great. Like she kind of didn't give a shit that I just came and spoke to her, and she was just a singer, you know what I mean? Like she was kind of just talking about this and that and what she does before having a sing and letting herself, their hair down afterwards and whatever else. So it was kind of, I like when you meet people like that in our industry where, they've got to put the facade on when they have to, when they've got to sell something and do or whatever. But when you actually kind of meet them outside of the camera, they're just great. They're just workers. They're great people. They're just great singers. You know what I mean? So so I'm going to drop.
Mate.
There you go. Name drop right there.
Mate, good on you, Tim. Really appreciate it, mate. That's great. We everyone at home, obviously has watched you on television and heard your music and so forth for many years, and it's a privilege to have you on, mate. So I really, really appreciate your time. So.
Oh, no, thank you. Look, this is great what you're doing too. It just gives another chance for people to be entertained and learn some things while we're stuck in isolation. So thank you for doing the show. It's excellent. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem, mate. You're a legend. Thanks, Tim. Cheers, mate. Man.
Thank
you.
you. See ya.